for joining me here in the attic. So pull up a chair, grab your favorite beverage, and we'll get to crafting and memory keeping. Today we're going to be doing part 4, the final part for the Blush and Breezy envelope journal. There will be a link at the end of this video where you can go back if you've missed parts 1 through 3. You can go back and catch those where we put this journal together and where we did some embellishing on some of the journal cards that fit inside the envelopes. And today we're going to be working with this week's freebie. I've printed them at full size and also at 2 to a page 5x7, and I've even printed the sentiment strips at a wallet size to get really small sentiment strips and wording that I might be able to use in some of the clusters. So I wanted to just have a little bit of craft with me and creative play and chatting today as we put this journal together. I'm going to go ahead and take out all the journal cards. Hope everybody has been having a great summer. It's been really hot here, so we haven't done a whole lot. Just trying to stay cool and hydrated. And I wanted to take a minute to tell y'all there is a link down in the description box for my Facebook group. I'd love it if y'all would come join us over in the attic. Love to see what all y'all are creating. Also doing some challenges in there. Got some events coming up. And often there is some discount codes for my Ko-fi shop. The link for this kit and my Ko-fi shop will also be down in the description box. I'll just kind of get these out. My idea with this little envelope journal was I kind of wanted it to be kind of a memory keeping type journal. So that's where I designed a lot of the journal cards to where you could put these picture frames on them. You could do a lot of journaling for summer memories. I'm going to go ahead and cut these journal cards out while we chat. I think I'm going to cut the larger ones out, and I think what I want to do, cut out some of these watercolor washi strips and the strips here with the flamingos. Been trying to play a little catch up with my digital kits and crafting and get more of a structure of when I was going to try to put videos up. And I hope y'all bear with me as I work through that structure until I fully retire in October. It may be hard to stay on a completely structured schedule of certain days having videos up here on YouTube. So right now they're kind of random. But I do appreciate all the likes, all the people that have subscribed to my channel, and the comments. I know a lot of people are like me and you watch YouTube on your TV and it's a little harder to comment that way. I try to go back and comment on people's videos that I've watched. Sometimes I'm not super successful at that. But if you're not someone that has a YouTube channel, you may not realize how the algorithm works. Liking and subscribing to people's channels and commenting sets up the algorithm for YouTube to push your videos out to other people that aren't subscribed. So I do appreciate all those likes, comments, and not just on my video, any videos that you watch in our little crafting community. If you can give those people a like, subscribe to their channel, and comment when you can, it really does help their channels out a lot. I use my little corner rounder here to round these journaling cards. I've also been planning a couple of collaborations that I'm excited about. Can't give too much information about those right now, but I think both of them are going to be a lot of fun. And I've been thinking about what I want to do for next month's tutorial videos on here. If you've got any suggestions of what you would like to see, be sure to leave those down in the comments. Love to hear what other people would like to see. I think I would like to do a little bit of catch up and go back and work on some memory albums that I have kind of put off. I used to be a really big scrapbooker. I still love to scrapbook. My biggest thing with scrapbooking is everything had kind of went to the 12 by 12 style, which I absolutely love. It gives you lots of real estate to work with and make beautiful designs to showcase your pictures and your journaling. But I have a very hard time with the storage on 12 by 12 albums. I do not have shelf space that hold those very well. So I'm trying to come up with a style of memory albums, hybrid scrapbooks, something along those lines that fit my shelves a little bit better. So I'll probably be doing a few of those coming up soon here on the channel, along with the junk journals, which I also love, and even maybe some hybrid junk journal, memory album kind of thing. Because as most of y'all know, my passion really is memory keeping, but that goes a lot of different ways. I like to memory keep with scrapbooks. I like to do some digital scrapbooking. I even memory keep in my planner. And I know a lot of people think planning and memory keeping, that doesn't go well together. But it really does. I do a lot of genealogy also, and I love to find out more about just the everyday lives of people that I'm researching. And I look at my planner when I'm doing these things, and I think about how will people that come after me, my descendants that come after me, remember me, or even the time period that I lived in and my family lived in. just the little knowledge. How much was gas? What's the price of eggs? What was an everyday life like? Because as I look back at my ancestors' everyday lives and how much different they are now, I can only imagine 100 years from now what the next 100 years will bring as far as technology and just how different life will be then. And I think it will be fascinating to someone, or at least I hope it'll be fascinating to someone one day to look back at what my family did. And that's why I document these things in scrapbooks and journals and even the planner for my everyday life. But the crafty person that I am, I also like my journals and my planners to be pretty, because I like them to be something I like to look at every day. So I'll go in and I'll put, even when I'm doing digital planning, I'll put digital stickers on things just to make them a little more visual, interesting to look at. And that's kind of where I am when I do some of these projects. I think about who might come back years from now and look at these things and what they'll learn about our lives. I'd love for you to leave me down in the comment section. Do you like to do other projects like memory keeping? I know there are several in my group. I took a little poll the other day in my Facebook group, kind of on the asking if people were kind of ADHD when it came to paper crafting or crafts in general. Because I also tend to be a little bit ADHD when it comes to that. I don't know if ADHD is exactly the right word to use there, but I kind of get bored sometimes doing the same style. Even in memory keeping, doing the same thing. I'll bounce from a paper planner that I started out with at the beginning of the year. Right now I'm using a digital planner, which I am enjoying. But I also feel myself being pulled back to a paper planner. Digital is just a little bit easier. Sometimes with a busy lifestyle than sitting down and getting stickers or glue or whatever you're using for your regular planner. If you like to decorate the planner. I'm going to pause here and I'm going to go ahead and cut these sentiment strips out, and I'm going to come back because I just want to make this video kind of a craft and chat with me, but I don't want to sit here for hours cutting these little sentiment strips out. And then we'll come back and do a little bit of embellishing on these final journal cards and putting the final touches on the Blush and Breezy envelope journal. I wanted to hop back on while I was doing this fussy cutting because I had someone mention fussy cutting and how difficult that sometimes can be. But I like to design my images to where they don't have to follow a real rigid path. You can do just kind of a rough fussy cut instead of following exactly along those lines there. Just quickly cut these out. You don't have to follow images completely along the lines. If you have some white area, you can always go back and ink those areas. But that way you're not struggling to cut these things out. And even, let me grab something really quick. And even images like this, if you'll notice, the way I designed this, you've got like a watercolored ring around the image. And I didn't go all the way to the edge when I fussy cut around these. I just roughly fussy cut around them, and then I'll come back and either use my tumbled glass that will match up pretty well. Let me grab this and show you. That will match this pretty well to where it'll look inked. And it didn't take too terribly long, and then it left some journaling space here in the center. So don't stress yourself out too much about fussy cutting a lot of the images, whether they're my images or somebody else's. Anytime you do that, if you'll follow a basic outline and let your scissors do the work for you, again, match your scissor size to your image size. You don't want to use really big scissors like this, cutting little images like this. So I have a couple of different sizes. I really like the small Tim Holtz ones for fussy cutting because it does let me get into smaller areas if I want to follow a specific line versus trying to use something really big. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and set this stuff to the side, and let's just kind of do a little bit of decorating here. I'm going to cut these out really quick. And again, this is kind of, again, matching your scissors to your project. These have long straight lines, so I'm going to use longer scissors. That'll help make the job faster. I just probably want to use some of these images on some backs of some of my journaling cards. And I just want this last video to be kind of casual. This whole kit reminds me just of a casual beach trip. Chilling in the summer. And remind you that whether you're a beginner or a seasoned crafter that has been doing paper crafts for years, we all get stuck in ruts or kind of lose our mojo sometimes of what we want to do. So sometimes you just want to sit down and do a little bit of fast crafting, nothing super structured. And I'm just going to come back and add some sentiment strips here in some of these. And I'll come back at the end and I'll show you my closure for the journal and do a final flip through. I finished up the journal. I made a little ribbon closure that I've attached just with some Velcro dots. You can close it back that way, or it also slides off. I did a little dangle with some flip-flop charms and a little ribbon. And I'm going to do just a quick flip through and we will call this Blush and Breezy journal done. that ends our July tutorial project. So I hope you'll hit that subscription button and the notification bell so you'll be notified the next time I put up any new content. And be sure to come and join us over in my Facebook group, and you can get in on the collaborations and events that we're doing over there. And until I see y'all again here in the attic, y'all take care.